The three pillars of GLBA compliance: privacy rule, safeguards rule, and pretexting rule. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, GLBA, is a crucial piece of legislation passed in 1999, designed to protect consumers' privacy and private financial information. It introduced a series of regulations that require financial institutions to secure sensitive data and protect their customers' privacy. Among the central components of GLBA compliance are the privacy rule, the safeguards rule, and the pretexting rule. These three pillars are designed to create a basic framework that governs how financial institutions manage and protect consumer information. We'll cover the three pillars in more detail in this video. Pillar 1. The privacy rule. The privacy rule is one of the primary elements of the GLBA and requires financial institutions to establish clear policies for the collection, use, and sharing of consumers' personal financial information. The main objective of this rule is to enhance consumer privacy by requiring financial institutions to provide a privacy notice outlining what data is collected from or about them, with whom it is shared, what the consumer may do to opt out of sharing personal financial information, NPI, with non-affiliated third parties. Under the privacy rule, financial institutions must provide privacy notices. Financial institutions are required to notify customers annually about their privacy practices. These notices must be clear, accessible, and comprehensive, explaining the types of information the institution collects, how that information is used, and whether it is shared with third parties. Offer opt-out options. The privacy rule gives consumers the right to opt out of having their personal information shared with non-affiliated third parties. If a consumer does not wish to share their data, the institution must respect their decision. Restrict data sharing. Institutions are prohibited from sharing non-public personal information, NPI, without either obtaining the consent of the consumer or providing an opt-out mechanism, except in specific situations that are legally required or allowed. This privacy rule aims to ensure that customers have some control over their financial data and are informed about how it will be used. Informing the consumer and either obtaining permission or providing an opt-out procedure helps create more transparency and accountability. Pillar 2. The safeguards rule. The safeguards rule is another essential pillar of GLBA compliance that focuses on protecting the security of consumer information. This rule mandates that financial institutions implement administrative, technical, and physical safeguards to protect customer data from unauthorized access, theft, and breaches. The safeguards rule emphasizes the importance of a comprehensive information security program and requires businesses to take proactive measures to defend against potential data breaches. In the event of a serious data breach, organizations are required to report the incident to the FTC. Key components of the safeguards rule include risk assessment. Institutions must assess the risks to consumer data, considering both internal and external threats. This process includes evaluating how information is stored, processed, and transmitted, and determining the vulnerabilities within the institution's systems. Developing a security plan. Based on the assessment, a financial institution is required to develop a security plan that addresses identified vulnerabilities. This plan should include specific security measures such as encryption, access controls, and employee training. Employee training and monitoring. Institutions must train their employees on security policies and practices to ensure they understand how to protect sensitive information. Ongoing monitoring and testing of security measures should also be conducted to identify new risks. Third-party oversight. Financial institutions are responsible for ensuring that any third-party service providers with access to customer data also comply with the GLBA's security requirements. Contracts with these providers must include provisions to protect consumer information adequately. Multi-factor authentication. Institutions must require multi-factor authentication of all personnel accessing devices on which NPI is stored. Encryption. All NPI must be encrypted, both in transit and at rest, i.e. on all storage media. Access reviews. Institutions must periodically review access controls and permissions. Data retention. NPI must be securely destroyed no more than 2 years after its last business need. Change management. A change management program must be implemented. Logging. Audit logs of activity within systems must be securely retained. The safeguards rule is essential because it ensures that financial institutions actively protect sensitive data from a variety of security risks, ranging from cyber attacks to internal mishandling of information. It aims to establish a robust, proactive security culture across the financial industry. Pillar 3. The Pretexting Rule. The Pretexting Rule addresses one of the most common forms of fraud, pretexting. Pretexting occurs when someone attempts to obtain access to a consumer's personal information by pretending to be a legitimate entity or an individual. Under the GLBA, financial institutions are required to implement strict measures to disallow the use of pretexting to obtain information and protect against pretexting attacks by training staff to recognize social engineering ploys, phishing scams, etc., and monitor data disclosures, ensuring that consumers' sensitive information is not obtained under false pretenses. To comply with the third pillar of the GLBA, the Pretexting Rule, financial institutions must verify the identity of customers. Institutions are required to implement strict procedures for verifying the identity of individuals who request access to personal financial information. These procedures must include multiple verification steps to ensure that the person requesting the information is authorized to receive it. Implement procedures to detect fraudulent activities. Financial institutions must set up mechanisms to detect and prevent pretexting attempts. This may include monitoring for suspicious activity or fraudulent behavior and investigating any potential breaches of security. Educate employees. Employees must be trained to recognize and respond to pretexting attempts, for example, by recognizing social engineering attempts. This ensures that those in customer service and other frontline positions are equipped to handle requests for information securely and identify when fraudulent behavior is occurring. The pretexting rule is particularly important in today's digital environment, where impersonators and identity thieves can easily use deceptive practices to acquire personal financial information. By enforcing this rule, the GLBA helps mitigate the risk of fraud and identity theft. The Privacy Rule, Safeguards Rule, and Pretexting Rule represent the 3 foundational pillars of GLBA compliance, each playing a critical role in securing consumer financial information. Together, they create a foundation for an information security program designed to protect privacy, enhance security, and reduce the risk of fraud, and upon which a comprehensive cybersecurity program can be implemented. Encouraging universal adoption of these information security precepts helps reduce the risk of fraud and data theft across the financial services industry. CampusGuard's GLBA Awareness Training course assists your organization and staff in protecting sensitive personal information and preventing data breaches. Our GLBA training delivers an overview of the GLBA Privacy Rule, Safeguards Rule, and Pretexting Rule, penalties for non-compliance, updated data breach statistics, and more. Our courses are updated annually to address changing requirements and evolving cyber threats. To learn more, visit campusguard.com/training. Access more information about the GLBA with this free download GLBA Essentials Guide and Compliance Checklist on our website at campusguard.com/post/GLBA-essentials-guide-checklist. This informative guide provides practical tips to help businesses understand the basics of GLBA compliance with a convenient checklist to keep your compliance program organized. Need help with GLBA compliance? Reach out to CampusGuard to get started at campusguard.com/contact-us. Want to learn more about our GLBA compliance services? Visit campusguard.com/GLBA. Links found in the description box. For even more resources about the GLBA, we've provided links to helpful articles and videos in the description box. You can also check out our blog at campusguard.com/insights.